This is episode 593, and today we're going to be talking about boosting your brain with 15 activities that can help stimulate new neural pathways in your brain. The thing is, if you don't keep your mind active, studies show that your brain loses some of its functionality as you age, which causes memory loss, brain fog, and even Alzheimer's. A well stimulated brain also elevates your mood, which helps you feel better on the inside. And don't we all want to feel better on the inside? And so I'm going to take a look at 15 brain boosting activities. Now, these are things that I've done. I suggest to my clients that are out there on different sites about brain activities, and all of them stimulate the brain in some way, shape, or fashion. So we're going to go over 15 of them and see which ones resonate with you. Because the important thing is the mind is the brain in action. So if we want to have good mind, we have to have a healthy brain. Just as we exercise our body, we need to exercise our brain to create that neuroplasticity and neural pathways, so it gives our brain more resources when it is in mind mode. So number one, play challenging games. Yes, this may sound like simplistic, but there are games. There are mind games on different websites. There's different apps for it. There's video games. All of this. The key is we want to use the games as a supplemental workout. Just think about these 15 ways of like 15 exercises when you go to the gym. You're just not going to do one exercise. Let's say number one here was bench press. Well, you wouldn't go to the gym every single day and bench press. You would do other things. So keep in mind that as fun as playing challenging games may be, we don't want to use that as our only mechanism for boosting our brain activity. But again, there are so many out there. There are really some fun ones. And even you can go old-fashioned deck of cards, play concentration. There's so many great activities out there for games, because the games brings it, a challenge. There's a little bit of competition there, and that can help also boost your brain and your mind activities. Read. Reading stimulates the brain and activates your imagination. The key here is that I would want you to read, or the suggestion is to read long text, 1,000-word articles on the internet, not a summary in 2 sentences. We want to get in the habit of reading long copy. So perhaps read a chapter a day in a book, perhaps, and make sure when you read it, you do it in one sitting. If you're going to go to an article, make sure it's 1,000 words or more, because we want to be able to build focus, which that does, but we also want to read some stimulating things. It could be science fiction, it could be fiction. I would stay away from reading news articles when we want to stimulate our brain, but think of something fun to do, right? There's mystery novels, there's all sorts of great stuff out there to read, but keep it to a minimum of 1,000 words, which you'll do 2 things at the same time: help your focus and increase your brain activity. Exercising. So if you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you know that I'm a big proponent of exercise. Matter of fact, that's besides meditating first thing in the morning, the next thing I do is work out. But exercising, it circulates blood to the brain, carries oxygen to the brain. It does so much good for the brain. Even if you just go out and walk for 30 minutes a day, or 10,000 steps, whatever one you want to use, but use a measurement so that you stay with it. But, start to walk, then maybe jog, then go to the gym, do some swimming. But exercising, when you can start deep breathing during your exercise, you're going to get more oxygen to your brain, and everything thrives better with oxygen. Stimulate your brain with meditation. Now, meditation, there are many forms of meditation, just like there are many forms of exercise. So you could do meditation that is guided. You could do a quiet, silent meditation where you're in your own thoughts. You could do a visualization meditation where you see yourself in a future state. The key, though, is when you're doing the meditation, your brain waves will go from beta to alpha, and that's where you can create some great healing in your brain as well. Deep breathing delivers oxygen to your brain. So there's Qigong, which is a great breathing exercise. There's Tai Chi, which provides movement, right, exercise, and deep breathing. Or you can just do deep breathing. There's several ways to do this. There's very yogic breathing. There's other ones. There's box breathing, where you inhale to a count of 4, hold to a count of 4, exhale to a count of 4, hold to a count of 4. There's also tactical breathing, where you effectively exhale longer than you inhale. So you may inhale for a count of 7, exhale to a count of 11. But all you have to do this is for 1 or 2 minutes a day. It's really not that difficult. You get up, you're going to do something anyway, so why not be focused on your breathing? Fish oil supplements is literally like membrane material for the brain. You've heard about it, but you want to make sure it's good fish oil, omega-3s, right? Either krill or wild-caught salmon. We don't want to look for the cheapest here, because you're feeding your brain, right? This is not a supplement to cheap out on. You want to get high-quality, purified, filtered, wild-caught krill or wild-caught salmon. It will do wonders for your brain. And keep in mind, when you start taking fish oil, it doesn't affect you immediately, right? This is not a pharmaceutical where the chemicals go in and focus and help you immediately. This is over time. It's holistic, and it's going to take time. And when it kicks in, it's going to be wonderful. Listen to music. I recommend binaural beats. So binaural beats is there's one frequency in the right ear, one in the left ear, and your brain works to sync the hemispheres together. You can do that by itself or put music over it, or even just listen to chamber music or classical music. Classical music has a great rhythm which helps stimulate the brain. Sound healing is a science in its own, and there's all different types of sounds, quote, music you can listen to. I happen to like binaural beats. You can get it. I use an app, Insight Timer. There's a couple of other apps out there that are just binaural beats with overlay of birds or fire or something else. But listen to it, and there's 2 key frequencies involved here. One is 4 megahertz, which brings you down to a theta level, delta level, which is great for sleep and repair. And then there's 528, which is called the God frequency or the miracle frequency. And if you listen to the 528, it stimulates the brain in a very unique way, and marvelous things are said to start to happen in your life. So check out music, Baroque music, chamber music, classical music, and then check out the binaural beats and play around with it and see how you respond to it. Again, these aren't going to be instantaneous. They're going to build up over time. So have patience with it. Writing also improves memory and thought expression. So writing something down. This is why journaling and a gratitude journal is so critical. It not only expresses what you're thankful for in the day, but it improves your memory, because as you write, you have to remember what happened during the day, and that helps improve your memory. And then if you elaborate on those gratitudes, then you'll have more thought expression. So just the simple fact of writing a gratitude journal down and just elaborating a little bit on each gratitude. Now, you don't have to go to 20 or 10, 3 to 5 a day is great. I would say start out with 3 gratitudes for a month, and each gratitude put a word down and then why you're grateful for it. And that's it. But that's going to help stimulate your brain as well. Sleeping clears out your brain clutter. So if you know you need to get 6, 8, 9 hours sleep and you want to wake up at a certain time, you have to reverse engineer it to make sure that you know when you go to sleep. Keep in mind that when you go to bed is not the same as when you go to sleep, unless you're like me and I'm asleep within 5 minutes. But if it takes you a while to go to sleep, going to bed is not the same. So prepare yourself for getting that. Create an environment where you can sleep soundly. Have the room a little bit colder than the rest of the house. Turn off all your blue screens an hour beforehand. Replace the light bulbs in your bedroom with nighttime or dusk light bulbs, because it creates that sense of going to sleep, and melatonin will start to be secreted. Art. drawing, painting is an effective brain booster. It stimulates, right? We have this left side and the right side of the brain, and this stimulates that artistic side. So whether it's finger painting, charcoal, sketching, drawing on a whiteboard, any creative thing that you can do will help stimulate it. This is one of the reasons why I like mind mapping instead of just doing an outline. Because mind mapping, I get to draw, I get to use symbols, I get to use colors, and then I use the logical side of the brain to label each one as to what I want to do, as opposed to providing just an outline format. So if you're not a good quote artist, it doesn't matter. Take a look at mind mapping, and I would say do mind mapping manually, not the ones online. Although those are great, but I like the actual physical holding different colored pencils, drawing different colored circles, triangles, shapes, squiggles, and then putting the context of the symbol inside there, as opposed to an outline. Fasting. Fasting, there has been so many great studies on fasting, right? What happens at 12 hours, what happens at 14, at 16, at 18, at 20, at 22, at 24. Try fasting. If you've never fasted, probably the easiest one is going to be 12 hours, because basically 8 hours of it is your sleeping. And then extend it and extend it. And you're going to see at some point when you go into ketosis, your brain starts feeling alive. You start feeling more energetic. So this is a really great discipline for mental strength and for your brain boosting activities, is to try fasting. Walking. So one of the things about walking is that when we have a traumatic event in our life and we sit and talk about it, we are effectively telling our unconscious mind that we are not moving forward in life and we're stuck. And this stuckness creates a stagnation, if you will, in the brain, because it repeats the same neural pathways over and over again. But if we hold or begin that thought of trauma, whatever that might be, and it's all relative to each person's experience, and then go for a walk, naturally we're going to look around. Our eyes are going to go shift right to left. We may even go into peripheral vision. That means looking at the outside of your eyes as opposed to ahead. But this walking forward tells our unconscious mind that we are moving past this event. And so when we can move past this event, it clears the brain for more healthier functions. So in addition to just exercising and walking with a purpose is that we don't want to sit and focus on the problem of the past. We just want to bring it up, to bring our awareness to it, and then we start walking, and then we start to notice how those feelings and the images start to dissipate, because we're telling our mind we are moving forward in life. So walking is great physically and therapeutically. Fresh juiced vegetables or fruit, right? There's great fruit, apple cider vinegar, lemon juice. Some of these great juices can help stimulate brain activity. Now, depending on what type of nutrition program you are, it might be a little bit higher in sugar or fructose, and it might be a little bit higher in carbs. But play around with, ginger and lemon and limes and apple cider vinegar, and see how it creates a different functionality in your brain besides just having coffee, which is what we're having here now. So caffeine has been shown to be a nootropic, and this nootropic helps stimulate the brain. Obviously, if you've been drinking coffee, you know that. But when you can drink it with a different intention, of opposed to, geez, I got to wake up. Well, why are you waking up? The caffeine, it dilates the veins and the nervous system, and it brings blood to the brain. Great, that blood. Now use that blood for something and think something better. So you're kind of priming the pump with coffee. And then nootropics. There's a whole litany of nootropics out there. It's, They're basically called smart drugs. So there are some pharmaceuticals, but there are many, many, many nootropics that are naturally occurring out there that can boost your brain activity, relieve a little bit of sadness in your life, enhance your focus. So take a look at nootropics as well. Just do a search for nootropics. You'll see a lot of reviews. That would be up to you which ones you want to participate in. But keep in mind, right, to get the most out of these brain boosting activities, mix them up and do a variety of them at different times. So pick maybe 3 and do one on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then repeat them. The next week, do 2, right? You have 15 of them here. You will never get bored with mixing and matching these together, but be observant. Notice, like rank yourself on focus, on attitude, on mood before you start these, and memory before you start these, and then give them all a shot for 3 months. Then go back and rank yourself again, because we really don't see the slow progress, but if we take a before and after picture, we'll notice it. So the before picture is how do you feel, how's your sleeping, how's your mood, how's your memory, and then you do the same questions at the end, and you'll notice a huge difference in all of those. Just choosing one won't boost your brain power. However, combining, alternating them will give your brain the added boost you need now and in the long run. That's why if you just do one exercise, bench press forever, it's not going to really help you with your glutes, with your quads. So we want to mix and match these 15, but there's so many there that mixing and matching them, you could go for a walk and have coffee and then do some reading, right? All of these things combined will help stimulate your brain and stimulate your mind as well. If you'd like to see the show notes on this, you can visit warriormindcoach.com. While you're over there, take a look at other blog posts, other podcasts, and then you can also request a breakthrough session right there at the bottom of the main page. And since you'll be on the internet, please follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest under Warrior Mind Coach.